number this is, but we're glad you guys are watching and having a great time watching and learning, hopefully. So today's topic is...
Oh, it's a student wrote in and asked, why doesn't the military use sogobujutsu? He also asked, why not the CIA?
Great question.
It's not, well, it's not conducive. I spoke to a while back, I was down in North Carolina at the Marine base. What's it called? You went there.
Oh, Paris Island.
Paris Island.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I spoke to a commander, and I said, you know, hey, I got this martial art, and it's phenomenal, and I watched, you know, what the Marine Corps is teaching as far as martial arts goes, and it's, you know, it's all right. It's just that it's not all that it could be. And he quickly stopped me in my tracks. He's like, no, we're aware of that. We're not hoping for it to be the greatest martial art. And I said, oh. I said, but, you know, I could, you know, come in and teach how we could take people out quicker, and you wouldn't have to do as much. And he said, no, we're happy with our program. And I said, okay. I said, but it's less effective. And he's like, no, you're missing my point. He says, it's about liability. He said, we want to give you know, our soldiers a tank, and then after the encounter, we want to take that tank away. We want to give our soldiers, you know, a firearm, you know, and then after they're done with their, you know, military campaign, we take that firearm away. We send them home. If we train them to be these assassins, these amazing warriors, then how are we going to disarm them? You know, when they leave, they're going to leave lethal. And should they leave lethal, eventually it's going to reflect poorly on the Marine Corps. And I said, how? And he said, you could picture them upset about, you know, their lives at some point in time, and hanging out in a bar, and getting into a fight, and then you know, that guy. Why did that guy kill those people? Well, he was a Marine. So so that doesn't happen, we want to be able to take their weapons away, disarm them, and then send them home. Those aren't my words, guys. So anybody that wants to argue and claims that they became a killer as a Marine, I don't doubt that you did. As far as martial arts goes, that was the information that I was given.
That's interesting. And being there, like going through some of the training, we did a lot of hand-to-hand. We did a lot of bayonet training, which I thought was really silly because I didn't think we'd ever get that close. But it happens in war. I was never sent out to war. Didn't even complete boot camp. But the training that I did go through, I did see a lot of hand-to-hand combat that was one-on-one. It wasn't really about multiple opponents. It was one-on-one situations. Old school hand-to-hand combat. And when I got out of the Marine Corps and found sogobujutsu, I questioned that myself. Like, you know, this art says and does everything that you need to do with multiple opponents, not just one, but with multiple opponents. And I don't know why the Marine Corps or any governmental army would not train sogobujutsu or an art that's like it. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not even trying to pat ourselves on the back here, but you know, who they have, Gracie? They had Gracies in there training them?
Which doesn't make sense.
Which, you're going to roll around on the ground with somebody in the middle of war and try to get them to tap?
That's not a good idea. No. You want to stay fighting so that you can move, especially in any warfare, in any, you know, even in the streets. You don't want to be rolling around in the streets. You know, some guy's going to clock you with a skateboard, and the other guy's going to stomp you to death while you're rolling around with his friend. You just don't want to do that. You know, in war, you're going to get rolled over with, you know, tanks and Hummers are going to drive over you. It's just, you know,
while you're sitting there trying to armbar somebody.
Yeah,
like,
it's just not a good idea.
No.
It's just not, you know. Somebody's going to be walking up from, you know, the other team and just bang, bang.
Right. You're sitting there concentrating on that block, and somebody's just going to bang. Wow.
It's got to be quick. It's got to be effective. It's got to be a lot more. There's some modern arts that are trying to do it, like Defendo. That's a modern art, and it's got some good ideas. It's not my cup of tea, mind you, but it's got some good ideas.
It's called Defendo?
It's a very weird name.
That sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to YouTube that. Defendo.
Well, you know what we should do? we should use this to showcase our new feature.
Oh yeah, our new
Interview with
feature.
Sensei.
Picture in picture.
That's right. Oh, it's going to be critique of the week.
Critique of the week.
That's right.
So we'll start showing you guys a little bit of what we're talking about, like Defendo. And what was the other critique that we had set up for?
Oh, for this week.
For this week.
For this week, we're doing the Jinenkan, and all we're going to do is we're just going to take one video clip, guys. So the Jinenkan, and we're going to look at Manaka Sensei, who's the head grandmaster of the Jinenkan, and they claim to be real samurai arts.
Wow! Wow! Let's take a look.
Critique of the week.
Manaka Usui's, was it Koto Ryu Koppojutsu. Now, this is more of a commercial than a video, but we're going to critique everything we see on YouTube. Boom. Okay.
So right away, a jumping in karate chop
To-
with the double donkey kick to the gut, which looks like something that who am I thinking about again from Star Wars? This is something Yoda would do. Somebody of small stature, what they would call a twerp.
It's honorable, Brian. The truth of the technique is it's very strange. Why are you jumping in to chop at the side of the man's neck? Maybe he's going for the clavicle. It's something. It's not the worst target. The weird part is the jump. That's weird. And then he jumps again and hits the guy in a non-vital. Is he doing that because he's being nice to Izuka? Or does he really want to strike twice with his legs at a non-vital area while in the air? It's weird.
Looks weird.
The thing about striking is that you want to make your shot count. In the samurai art, you want to strike vitals. You want to hit a person once so that they go down and they're not coming back up. Hit a guy in the gut and the guy's going to get ticked off and then come back at you. Be in the air and hit him, and there's this little thing called physics, you know. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So what you're going to see is you're in the air, so it's the law of least resistance. Instead of sending him back, he's on the ground, you're going to send yourself back.
Should we do a replay of that? Let's do a replay of that, just so we can recap on the movement.
Boom. Very strange. And then his retaliation, he's got momentum, so he's going to turn it into Koho Kaiten, that backward roll. But he rolls on his head, which is a little weird. He does some little kamae movements there, showing his actions. He strikes the guy. Okay, that's weird. You want to pause that for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so that little Daken Taijutsu thing that he's doing there, he's striking, and when he strikes, he's striking with like the back of the forearm. When you hit that person, you want to do limb destruction. You want to hit with the knuckles, so you want to strike into the man's arm to damage it, and he's just kind of like shooing it away with the back of his arm. Again, he might be being nice to Izuka, that's a possibility, but how are we to know that? And then, you know, here comes the sword. He starts off in Hoko no Kamae, which isn't horrible, and yeah. Okay, pause that one.
Gut punch?
Okay, I don't know of a swordsman that's going to be fooled by that one. I'm coming at you with the sword, but you jump underneath my sword. Oh, I didn't know where he was going. I think every single swordsman on the planet studies stepping back and cutting as well as stepping forward. So you try to step toward me, I just increase my distance and I cut you in half. You would be helping the cut at that point. I don't suggest that. And then again, where is he hitting him? He's hitting him in the chest. So here's the thing, which is a worse attack? Okay, so if you could pull off that attack, right? Which I'm not saying he can. But if you could pull off that attack, oh, you hit me in the chest, ow. Right?
Right, which is actually helping the...
Right, the downward motion.
Ooh.
Right, so if you were successful, let's say you were successful in diving in before that sword comes down, which I'm not saying you could, but let's say you could, right? Then what would be the next thing that would happen? If you jumped in and you hit me hard as I'm coming down,
right,
you would send me back, oh, and then I would drop the sword and cut you in half. Why not? Yeah. Oh, you got me. You know, we're in close. here, and then he hits me. Oh, I drop the sword and cut him in half.
Just helping the whole purpose of your enemy.
I don't think that's a good idea.
We don't want to help our enemies, right?
Then he does an interesting dropping throw that almost looked, it was a really quick clip there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No, not that one, not the Mushadori looking one.
Oh, the head bump. Which one? This one here? Should I go back?
He almost looks like he's doing like a little bit of Yoshinu there. Ah, you gotta do some more jumping. I don't know why he's doing the jumping with the kicks. This part isn't the worst throw, but what's the motivation there? Grab the guy by the side of the belly? That's not... Maybe he's trying to do Shinkiwaza, but I'm not seeing it. They're much better motivators. I mean, he's just kicking people away from him. Oh, another jump. Let's do a jumping kick.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
What is that?
I don't know what that is. This sword evasion is a little strange too. And then the jump in, putting his hands on the guys. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, so our critique of this Ryu and of this art, I guess, would have to be what? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Well, I don't want to say of the Ryu or the art, of this specific video.
This specific video, I have to give it a thumbs down. Because I don't know what that double jump Yoda kick is all about. I need that explained. And I don't see the point of it, and I don't think it's going to hurt anybody. It's probably going to make somebody mad as hell.
It's unfortunate, but I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the critique of the week.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Doi itashimashite.
Technique of the week.
So when this is happening here, all of the vitals that we already know need to come into place. But one of the biggest things that we might not be thinking is, I'm beaten up badly, okay? And me fighting to get out is what he's expecting, all right? He might be willing to swing a brick to knock me cold so that I'm not fighting. So he might have some type of implement that he's threatening me with at this point. You get in there. You get in there, I'll Clorox wipe you. I'm going to be wiped out.
Connie!
So the concept of fighting to get up and out like this, he's expecting that, and he's obviously ready for that. So we're not going to give that to him. We're going to fake fighting that we're coming out, and then we're going to give it, oh God, no, here. And that's what we want. We're going to draw him in. Yeah, you like it in here? And what we're going to do is we're going to reach in and grip his vitals so we can choke him out while he's here. See here, before he could kick me, he could punch me, he could do a lot of things to me. Here, he can't do a heck of a lot. His weapons are facing the car. Yeah, beat up your car as I beat you up. You can ball up the fist here. I'm going to use Koppoken. Not this Koppoken, but this variation of Koppoken. To break some ribs, to really damage some kidneys. That's going to suck. That's going to suck a lot. It's going to be a pow, 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 like this. Alright? And then you want to whisper sweet nothings. When he's here, my hand's going to reach up, and it's going to grip here. It can be ticklish. It's going to be why? Because it hurts. Boom, 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 boom. Here. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to slide our way out. Here. Slide our way out. Yeah. Just relax and use the body weight. Alright? We're going to push him. And when we get to here, we're going to keep our leg on him. Yeah, who's going in? And we can lock him up. We can break a leg if we wanted to. Right? But we're going to get him in. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Right there.
Lehigh Valley.